We are back with some more Panthers franchise, and we are here into the final recap of season 2. I would say this season was a decent success. We lost in the playoffs and again in the divisional round, which is the same spot we lost last season in the divisional round, which is unfortunate. We didn't progress farther in the playoffs, but we did have a much better regular season. And we won the division. Last season we were the 7 seed. This season we were the 2 seed. So as far as the regular season goes, we made a big step up. But the playoffs was the exact same. We lost in the divisional round again. And I would say that would be a pretty disappointment. Hoping to at least get to the championship in season 2. It did not work out. The only thing, we got some good things going for us this offseason, draft pick wise. We got the Rams pick. It's ended up being the 3rd overall pick. So it's the one that we traded away season 1. We traded away 3 players to the Rams for a future first. Well, he did not have the best season, and we got the 3rd overall pick in the draft. So I'm most likely trading down that pick. Matter of fact, I probably, by the time this video is recorded, have got a deal in place from some sort to trade down a bit. I just want to try to acquire more first-round picks or more talent. I don't think I'm like one star player away. Like, I'd like to kind of acquire a couple first, and like those top picks, I don't need a quarterback, so I'm not going to use that. I don't need like a top end wide receiver. I don't need a pass rusher. I got Frankie and Brian Burns. I don't need a corner. So it's like it's hard for me to use that pick and have it mean something. So we're probably going to trade that pick down and see where it's at. So we're in the Super Bowl week. We're going to update you guys on how everything went down. Obviously, we lost to the Lions, sadly there. The Seahawks took down the Cardinals 36-22. The Ravens beat the Bengals 44-37, and the Colts lost to the Jets 26-18. The Ravens beat the Jets 41-37, and the Seahawks beat the Lions 38-17. So it's a Seahawks-Ravens Super Bowl, which means a different user will win the Super Bowl this season as the Colts won in year 1. So it's going to be the Seahawks or the Ravens. Probably the Seahawks as the big favorites, as he has not lost all season. So he's on an absolute tear. It's just one of those seasons. He's just demolishing everyone in his path, and he's in the Super Bowl, so it makes sense. So we'll see who wins that. Before we get some stats and stuff, I think we had like 8 people make the Pro Bowl. Obviously, since the Seahawks made the Super Bowl, not having any of his players in the Pro Bowl helped us out a little bit. So I'm going to run through all the players that made the Pro Bowl. Bryce Young was the quarterback 2 in the Pro Bowl. We had fullback, Patrick Ricard was the fullback number 2. Calvin Austin was also wide receiver number 2, which I thought was pretty interesting. I didn't really expect him to really, be Pro Bowl bound, but I guess he was, so that's good to see. Our starting right guard was the number 1 right guard in the Pro Bowl, which is interesting because I'm probably going to let him go. So that's interesting there. Defensively, we had a lot. We had Deion Nix, who was the right end number 2, second right end to make the Pro Bowl. We also had our cornerback 1 and 2 was Dante Jackson and J.C. Horn. So both of our starting cornerbacks were the 1 and 2 starting cornerbacks in the Pro Bowl, which is great to see. We also had Jeremy Chin as the free safety, number 1 free safety in there as well. Surprised Jamie Robinson didn't make the Pro Bowl, but he, it is what it is. And then we had our kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, as the number 1 kicker for the Pro Bowl. So that was that for the Pro Bowl selections. We're going to go through some we'll do the awards now. We'll just get the awards out of the way here. In-season awards. Let's just bang them out. Who were the winners? MVP, Isaac Dillard, of course. Coach of the Year, Pete Carroll, of course. He's undefeated. Makes sense, right? AFC side, Offensive Player of the Year was Henry Klein. Defensive Player of the Year, Logan Wilson. Henry Klein was also Offensive Rookie of the Year. Alex Goddard, not sure who that is. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback. Josh Jacobs, best running back. Best wide receiver was Cooper Kupp. Best offensive lineman, Quentin Nelson. Best defensive lineman, Chris Jones. Logan Wilson, best linebacker. Minka, best defensive back. And Matt Gay as the best kicker. The NFC side, Isaac Dillard, of course, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year was Aaron Donald. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Isaac Dillard. Obviously, makes sense. Defensive Rookie of the Year, though, we did win it. Jason Forbes. I kind of wish it was Deion Nix, but it is what it is. I think Deion, they both had great rookie seasons. They were both great picks, and they've had great rookie seasons. I was just happy someone won it. So Jason Forbes got Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best quarterback, Mr. Isaac, obviously. Bijan is the best running back. Best receiver, DJ Moore, with Calvin as the second. So very good for Calvin Austin there. He must have just, I mean, he did, I know he was great for us, but I guess I didn't realize he was that good. Sewell, best offensive lineman. We had a couple Panthers up here for a while. Taylor seems to be the only one that stayed up here, so at least we got someone up there. Best defensive lineman, Aaron Donald. Best linebacker is Damon Clark. Best DB, Ryan Neal. Jeremy Chin just below it. He almost got there. Jason Myers as the best kicker, and that is that for the NFC awards. We'll go league leaders, and then we'll really, dive into our team and stuff. So the passing yards leader was rookie Clay Smith for the Jets. The touchdown leader was Jared Goff with 52. The man was slinging it. CJ Stroud led the league in picks with 39. Our sack leader was Justin Fields. He's just running around too much, apparently. Just running around too much. Yards leader Josh Jacobs with 1,842. The man was chugging. Rushing touchdown leader, yep, Josh Jacobs right there. Fumble leader, Dak Prescott. Oh, man. The Riddler's also up here. The freaking Riddler. 67 broken tackles, man. That's crazy. Josh Jacobs is crazy for that. Receptions leader is Henry Klein, tight end, 117 receptions. This guy went crazy. Jeez. DJ Moore led in receiving yards with 1,821, and our touchdown leader was Henry Klein. No wonder why he won offensive rookie, or he was up there. Or no, he won it for the AFC side, yeah. That's a crazy season. I know this guy was pretty good in the draft. I remember seeing him. This guy was pretty crazy, so makes sense. Most sacks allowed. We got a Chiefs guy, a Rams guy, and a Broncos guy there. Defensively, tackle leader, Tremaine Edmonds, 167. The tackles for loss leader, holy moly, 61 from Aaron Donald. That is a ton of tackles for loss. Pick leader was Minka with 11 interceptions. Our forced fumble leader was a four-way tie between Ryan Neal, Chris Jones, Trenton Simpson, and Emmanuel Peterson. How many safeties? We get a bunch of safeties. Only 2 this season. Andrew Booth and the Jets guys, they're probably ton of touchdowns, but this cornerback got 3 of them. Love to see that. Kickers, I mean, what's supposed to talk about a kicker? Not much to talk about them. Probably a ton of kick returns for touchdowns. There always is. Yeah, there always is. Any punt returns this season? I think there was a couple. There was quite a... Travis Etienne had 2. Dang, man. Avery Williamson, Quez Watkins, Tyreek Hill, Nazir Thornton. Tyreek Hill at punt returns kind of a cheat code. I won't even lie. That is the league leaders for that. Before we talk about my team, though, we did have a couple people go up in development. Nothing too crazy. I was kind of hoping I'd see something crazy, like someone's X Factor, something just crazy like that. But it did not happen. We did get Calvin Austin to star, so that's pretty cool. Got him up to star. That's it for the offensive side, though. No one else went up in development. Defensively, we had some good ones. We got Deion Nix, the superstar. He only has 1 ability unlocked right now, and it's kind of a lame one. Recuperation is what it is. He gets the next at 80 overall, so he's 1 overall away from that. And then we also got Jason Forbes. He won Rookie of the Year, so he gets the dev trait boost, and he will now be a superstar dev. Only problem with him is, someone did it. I know I messaged my rep to have him unlock it, and because it was locked, but he also got recuperation. So Jason Forbes, same thing. He needs 1 more overall to unlock that 80 overall slot. So he's close, and hopefully he gets a good ability there. But nice to see the defense, getting some abilities. Getting out there and trying to wreak some havoc. But that's it for the dev increases. Only 3 players. Nothing too crazy there. Let's look at the stats. Let's dive into the stats before we finish up this video. I don't want to, keep you guys for too long for this. The next episode is going to be the final re-sign stage and talking about who we're going to keep, who won the Super Bowl, all that good stuff. So, Bryce Young, much, much, much better season this season. He was like a million times better this season than last season. He finished with 4,436 yards, 34 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. That's over 2 touchdowns a pick ratio. Very good. It started off a little slow. We had some really bad games with Bryce Young, but it turned out he turned great. He did much, much better than he did last year. Hopefully he can keep it up. We were sacked less than he was last year as well. I think we even less picks, way more touchdowns, more yards. We just got to keep seeing that development. Just let him keep seeing it, keep growing. Rushing wise, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders. You know, he was so good this season for us. And he's a good player. What's he at now? He's a 91 overall. The morale puts him at a 95. He's very, very good player. He apparently has 98 carrying at the moment. But boy, did he have a terrible postseason run for us. He fumbled in the wild card round. Okay, fumbles happen. Is what it is. He fumbled twice. He had 0 fumbles all regular season. 0. Chuba was the one that was fumbling. I think he fumbled like 3 or 4, maybe recovered a couple of them. Chuba was the one dropping them. Miles Sanders did not drop a damn fumble. And then playoffs come around and he fumbles 3 times, and he fumbles twice in the Lions game that put us just behind, and, you know, it was hard. We did come back and take the lead at one point, but those fumbles made it very difficult for us to get to that point to even take the lead. If he doesn't fumble, maybe we don't even have to play for that far behind, and maybe we're in a good spot, you know? So he's still our running back. I know some people were saying trade him, but he's still our guy. He's locked in for this is our 2nd season, so he's probably got 2 more years, I think, on his deal. Yeah, because this will switch over to 2. He's still our guy. I'm not going to, try to rush out to trade him. He's here. Oops, I'm hitting all types of the wrong buttons here. He's here, and he's the guy. You know, it is what it is. He was great for us in the regular season. Just under 1,300 yards. He had 17 rushing touchdowns, 32 broken tackles. He was very good, and he just did not have a good postseason run, so hopefully he can come back with some vengeance next season, because I think after this draft goes, we got a good draft capital. Obviously, our first draft, we had no first-round picks. We didn't have that much draft capital, and we still hit on good players in Jason Forbes, Deion Nix, Terrence Glover. We hit quite a bit of those picks for not having a first-rounder, and we have 2 first-rounders this year. So I think next season and from here on out, it's got to be shooting for a Super Bowl. I mean, we had a year of developing Bryce Young. We developed these receivers. They're getting better. It's time. It's time. We got it. The defense is nasty. You know, we could just need maybe a couple more pieces on the defensive line. But I think from here on out, we got to shoot for the Super Bowl or bust. At least try to make it, you know. Like, we can't be losing in the division around with the team we're going to have next year. I think our team next year is going to be really good. With, Bryce Young's developed now. He's ready to go. So he's up to an X factor, so he's ready to roll. The receivers, I was finally getting a groove with Calvin Austin. It sucks he got hurt in that game, because maybe he could have made a difference on our final drive, because Calvin Austin was feeling nice. So we'll see. Chuba, a guy that's made so much plays for us. He's not under contract currently, and I think I am going to let him go. I just think I can replace him, even though he's so good. He's been so good. 788 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. I just think it's time to part ways. Sometimes you got to let those players go. We don't have much money, at the moment. So, especially if I want to keep Stephon Gilmore around for one more year, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep Chuba, which I would love to keep Gilmore if he doesn't regress that much. I would prefer to keep Gilmore over Chuba. So it's tough. It really is, but I think I'm going to let Chuba end up going. He's great for us, but it is what it is. The rookie, Vince, 25 for 107 and 1, all in pretty much garbage time. Bryce, something I probably should utilize more is him running a bit. Didn't really run too much with him. Probably should use that a little bit more. Receiving-wise, very interesting season here. We had the 2 main dogs here. Calvin Austin with 75 receptions, 1,467 yards, and 14 touchdowns. Was very, very good in the slot for us. And at special teams, made some plays on special teams. So he's pretty much our number one target. Mingo's right there, but he's just a lot more explosive. He's got the speed. If you give him some space, he's going to be gone. So I'm very, very happy I traded him. I traded a middle linebacker that I wasn't really using much for Calvin Austin straight. And his first season here, fantastic. Calvin Austin has been fantastic. That's been a huge dub of a trade there for us. Mingo, much better second season than first one. He had 71 receptions, just over 1,000 yards, and 11 touchdowns. He did much better, He's kind of started off pretty slow. It was kind of Glover and Calvin Austin carrying the load, and then Mingo just exploded, and he was having some monster games. So he's been very good for us. Terrence Glover as a 4th-round rookie, I'm totally fine with this season here for him. His catching was piss poor, and we got his catching up quite a bit to a point where it's actually respectable. His catching is at 85 right now with the morale boost, so it's technically 82. But it was like 73 when we drafted him. He was dropping wide open passes, so he's going to be a beast. We just got to let him grow. He's a developmental receiver. We knew that coming into it. That's why he was a 4th-round pick, because he had bad catching, and we had to develop him. And for a first season as a rookie, 58 catches, 828 yards, and 6 touchdowns, I'll gladly take it. I will gladly take that. Maybe next year is when he can have the big, huge bump and get over 1,000 yards or something. Hayden Hurst, solid. Nothing special for him. 40 for 499 and 2. Miles, 34 for 244, and then we got Chuba, 17 for 149 and 1. Gonna have to replace, get another running back. Vince maybe can fill the rushing role, but I do kind of want to get a new receiving back. Not that Miles can't do it, but I want to maybe try to find in the offseason someone that's just specializes, in receiving, just a better receiving back, so Miles doesn't have to do it as much. Another rookie down here, didn't play too much, but 9 catches, 103 yards, not too bad. Patrick with some catches. Ian Thomas, Tommy, both these guys I think leaving in free agency, but Calvin Austin and Mingo, but honestly, all 3 of these guys, really good seasons. They're all very young. These are probably my 3 receivers for the rest of the Madden cycle, unless I can't afford to pay them when it comes. All 3 of these guys are probably my guys. So the fact that they're doing this and they're still pretty low overall, I think, like I said, the next couple seasons are going to be great. We just got to keep progressing, and the offense will be much, much better. Taylor had a great season. The man allowed 1 sack, played every single game. The dude was a monster on the right side there. Center was okay. Apparently this dude made the Pro Bowl. He allowed 8 sacks. I don't get it. He wasn't the best, but he made the Pro Bowl, so there's that. Jason Forbes as a rookie, monster season, 131 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 3 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 4 deflections. He was great. He's going to be great. When did I draft this guy? He was the 3rd or a 5th round pick? I can't even remember. When does it even say, or I have to dig? I know there's a way you can check, to be honest, but I can't remember. Maybe it's under stats and contract. Career, no. I swear, season stats? No, I don't know. Oh, right here. No, 4th round pick. Okay. So he's a 4th round pick, wins Rookie of the Year. He was great for us. He was absolutely fantastic. Shaq Thompson, I don't think he's under contract. So I believe we're letting him go. We'll have to see. I don't think he is, though, if I remember correctly. He's been okay for us. Jeremy Chin was solid. 3 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions, 103 tackles. Things you love to see. Jamie, 5 picks, 89 tackles. J.C. Horn, 6 picks. I mean, we were getting just picks left and right. Look at these picks, man. J.C. was 6. Jamie with 5. We had Dante on the other side with 5. We had Gilmore with 5. That's why I want to keep these 3 corners around. And I think Gilmore makes a bigger impact than Chuba would. So I would prefer to keep Gilly around. We'll see, what he regresses to. That's pretty much the main thing, is the regression. Deion Nix, he also had an amazing season. Led us in tackles for loss and sacks as a rookie. I almost drafted a receiver. He was drafted in the 2nd round. He was our first selection in the first draft. And I almost went wide receiver because I knew we needed one so bad. But I was like, no, I'm not going to tilt and just pick a bad receiver. I'm going to pick the best player on the board that I have scouted. And it was him, and he was fantastic. I mean, 10.5 sacks, 24 tackles for loss. I can't complain. For a rookie season, I can't complain. And he forced a fumble. He was nasty. Derek Brown was pretty solid. 17 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. Also had the pick, which was a crazy pick by him. Frankie, he's okay, but he's just not spectacular. He's just not. So he didn't have the best season. He got banged up quite a bit throughout the season. Like, how many games did he play? I think he played like 12. 13, so he missed 4 games. Just didn't, doesn't have that star power. I don't know. Look at Shy's out there for way less snaps, and they had the same tackles for loss, and Shy had 1.5 more sacks. And Frankie's out there way more. So it sucks. It really does. Speaking of underwhelming seasons, right here. I mean, what is this? 3.5 sacks from arguably my best defensive player. He was not good. He had a crucial pick 6 at one point. 10 tackles. He just wasn't good. Brian Burns was flat out not good. He missed only one game. I mean, he played pretty much the whole season, and he was very disappointing. Now, he had a great first season, which was great, and he's a really good player, but terrible. I mean, this dude he just looks like a beast. He's 94 overall X Factor. He's just got to be better, man. That's at the end of the day, he's just got to be better. And yeah, he was just not good. Gilmore, like I said, I would love to keep him. He was great in the slot for us. Got a half a sack, 5 picks, 7 pass deflections, which is what you love to see. DJ Johnson he had 2 sacks that one game that he started for Frankie. So it's like, do I roll out DJ Johnson next season over Frankie Louvu? It's a question to be had. He's kind of young. He's going to be 25. He might be 26, so it might be a little too late at that point. Just because he's just, he's not terribly young, but he's also not that old. He's just kind of there. Ian Gatson, rookie, late round rookie, got 1.5 sacks. Nothing too bad there. But yeah, Brian Burns just wasn't good. I don't really, doesn't it show snaps played here? Yeah, downs played, 844. I mean, he's out there a ton, and just was bad, was very bad. So he's got to be better next season, because he led our team in sacks last season. I think he had double-digit sacks as well, and 3.5 is not going to cut it. I don't know what happened to him, but 3.5 can't do it. I can live, 10 tackles for loss, okay. But 3.5 sacks is not going to cut it, and he's got to be much better. Or maybe I will get rid of him. I mean, I know he's locked up for a lot of money. Season 1, I locked him up for a lot of money, so he's just got to be better. Calvin had a nice kick return, 103 yards. Didn't really take many back. No crazy punts, long as a 14-yarder. But that is that for the stats. I'll show you guys who we are... who's going to be under contract. I mean, this is like our last chance to talk about who we should re-sign and stuff. There's not many people. We got Gilly here. I'm just waiting on regression. Once we get to re-sign stage, he's at an 88 now, so I'm just seeing what the regression is. As you see at the cap room right now for the next season, we have $43 million. So we have a decent amount, but Gilmore will take a decent bit if we want to keep him around. And I'm like I said, I'm just waiting. I'm just sitting here waiting to see. If he drops maybe a couple overalls, I'm locking him in. If it drops like 6 or something, like low 80s, I don't know if I'm going to keep him. We'll see what he's asking for. Austin, like I said, I want to rebuild the interior of our offensive line. The tackles are completely fine. I'm fine with our tackles, but the interior I want to, really fix. And like I said, there's some trades in the works. We might have some guys to fill roles quicker than we thought. So Austin, I'm letting go. Shaq, I'm going to let go. He's old. Just let him go. He wants a decent amount of money. We'll try to fill that spot. Chuba, like I said, I already talked about it. It's sad, but he's not even asking for that much. But I do want to fill him some other spots. And I'm sorry, Chuba. Maybe if he's there late in the offseason, and maybe I'll get him. But I'm not re-signing him. Tommy's leaving. Brady's going to leave as well. Keith Taylor probably going to leave. Ian Thomas, he's all right. He wants, maybe I can get him for cheap. I don't know, but he's kind of up there in age, so probably going to let him go. All these guys probably going to end up letting go. Maybe I'll keep Andy. He might regress. He might even retire. He's 36, so I might have to find a new quarterback. Fullback, same thing, waiting on regression. Patrick Ricard is pretty good. Obviously, our left tackle, we're picking up the option here. The second we get a chance, we're picking up his option. So I'm pretty sure most of those re-sign guys I'm just going to let go. Just depends on regression and stuff. But that is it for this video. Overall, I think amazing regular season, 2 seed, won the division. Playoffs, I would give it, like on the letter scale, a D. We were not good in the playoffs. We had a good wild card game. We came out flat-footed early against the Lions, came back and took the lead but couldn't hold the lead. So we got to be better in the playoffs next season. We got a little bit of money to spend. We got some picks. Some better draft picks, so next season should be a lot better for us. But it is what it is. We got plenty of seasons left in us. Hopefully next season we can go farther in the playoffs. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.